This is Beach Talk Radio.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all ships at sea. This is your captain speaking, Mean Gene. Mean Gene. The following will be a test of the ship's whistle, the sonar alarm, the cable alarm, and the atomic attack alarm.
Ladies and gentlemen, broadcasting live 100 feet from the Gulf of America. Here are your award-winning social media superstars, the hosts of Beach Talk Radio, Kim and Ed Ryan.
Thank you all very much. Thank you all. You guys don't need to clap. You have no idea what's going on, do you? No idea. Where are you guys from? New Jersey, yeah.
North or south? South Jersey, yeah.
Where are you staying while you're here? Okay. So we do a show every Sunday here with the mayor. This is the mayor over here. We talk about the rebuild of Fort Myers Beach. We're on Facebook and YouTube. So you guys sat right in the perfect aim of the speaker there. So I just wanted to let you know what we're doing. And we also talk about my sciatica every Sunday in case anybody has sciatica. Everybody needs a sciatica update. So I have to tell you that yesterday I took a long walk from the library all the way to here. And I felt like it was kind of stretching out my back, and it felt good. And I was like, okay, this feels pretty good. And then I got on the back of Dawn Miller's golf cart from the Whale because they were heading back to get in the yesterday. And I felt like she's a crazy driver to begin with. And then I felt like, every time you sit down, you feel like there's more pain than there needs to be. Of course, every time I drive now, I'm sitting on a big bag of ice. I smell like icy hot wherever I go. And, you're laying down for half the problem. Every time I'm at home, I'm laying down on the couch. And, we got this new damn dog that you wanted. And
not that I wanted.
All this dog wants to do is stick his nose and lay underneath you. And so I don't know. I'm a little less painful than it's been. Like last week was torture, but today, not too bad. Yesterday wasn't too bad.
I know, but you are at the upper limits of what you can take for.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm taking, but I want more of what I'm taking because it seems to be helping.
I mean, I'm managing his medications, and I really don't have a degree in doctoring or pharmacy.
You should, as of today, you really should. So
let me know when your liver gives out because you're taking so 60.
much. I don't need a liver.
Tylenol and this and that. And
so I go to the doctor on Monday and he prescribes, apparently you got to go through this routine for the insurance company or they won't pay for it. So you got to go through prednisone first and then a physical training or whatever it's called, a physical therapy.
Thank you. Thank you. We've only been married 30 years, but
that's right.
Go
She's
ahead.
an occupational therapist. One of those things are.
That physical training thing you do.
So the guy puts me on of course, a guy's touching me and I don't like anybody touching me. And so he looks at my legs and he says, my legs are uneven. So he starts pulling on one of my legs. I'm like, what do you mean one of my legs is uneven? And
I think everybody's got uneven.
And then he's got me doing these crazy stretches on my back
but you felt better.
And I walked out and I was like, wow, I feel better. But driving is the worst thing. Driving is the worst thing. And so Friday I come to the 30th anniversary celebration, in Times Square. And I walk from here to Times Square and Anita Saracita's there. And she, Anita, she's going to tell you what's on her mind. She goes, you look like you lost 20 pounds. What's going on? And that's the worst thing that I never want to hear, that anyone tell me I look like I lost weight. So I was mortified by that. And I got on the scale the next morning because of what she said. And I weighed 169 pounds. And I went into an instant depression, like 169. The last time I came out of the womb at 169, I felt like, holy crap. Because that's what happens when you can't go to the gym and you can't work out, you lose weight. So, I mean, it's just I feel like all I'm doing is whining about it.
And by a show of hands, who cares?
No,
there you go.
By the way, I really do appreciate everybody's advice on the sciatica thing. It appears that the majority of the world either had it or will get it in their life. And everybody says so many different things. Leaned against the wall on a tennis ball or, I got the inversion machine still. I'm bribing my son-in-law now. I said, if you come over today, I'll buy you a case of beer, because the 50 pieces have moved from the counter to the office, and now they're laying all over the place in the office. And I'm lazy. I'm just too lazy to put it together. And I figured if I took it out of the box, she would put it together, because she's good at all that stuff. Like,
I'm just too busy
and put things together.
I'm too busy trying to manage all of your stuff.
Yeah. All right. So thank you to everybody who tuned in to the Shrimp Festival Parade yesterday. It was a lovely event, and we'll talk more about that with Dan when he comes on, and also the 30th anniversary. And we had a nice big crowd over by the library. The Lions Club did a great job. Now, today is the last day of the festival. They have shrimp and beer over in the parking lot by SOB, and the vendors are still set up over there. That's why the road's closed off. And that goes from 10 o'clock until 4 o'clock today. And then the shrimp eating contest is going to be here in Bayside Park, and that's at 2 o'clock. So if you're around today, they have music after that at 3 o'clock. But last year's winner ate 3 pounds of shrimp in 7 minutes.
That seems like
a
lot.
Yeah,
that seems like an impossible amount.
That's a lot. The shrimp, there's a technique to it. I saw.
Maybe that's what you need to do to put your weight back on.
Eat a lot of shrimp?
3 pounds of shrimp.
Yeah. All right. So before the mayor comes on, we have our pickleball champion to come on to tell us about another great event coming up here.
And she is dressed for the part.
So 2 years ago, we had you got to turn her mic on.
Okay. Well, just a minute.
Yeah.
Grab that one. Is that number 3?
Yes, it's number 3, because she's number 3 and you're turning on number 4. So there. So we got a story about the equipment to tell you too, but make sure
you've had an enormous amount. Oh, I know. So now the medicine that he's taking, I forgot, it's got caffeine in it, and I can tell because you are like,
the more the merrier. I'm going to take 4 of those.
Over it.
So about 2 years ago, there was a tournament for the Community Foundation, a pickleball tournament at Bay Oaks. And it was me and my partner here, and Dan, and the vice mayor at the time, Jim Adderholt. And I think the score was 12-11, and it was really close, and we lost. So the mayor and the vice mayor won. But this year, being that the vice mayor is no longer here, the town manager has stepped in, and Joy's going to tell us about the tournament.
Thanks, Ed.
Did I do that wrong?
No.
Oh,
perfect.
Okay. Yeah.
Perfect. So it's called the March Madness, which is why I'm dressed for March Madness pickleball tournament. It's a community foundation event with Bay Oaks Park, and it's March 21st. It starts at 9 o'clock. We have 2 sessions. One starts at 9 for up to 3.0 pickleballers. And then the afternoon.
What do you mean?
What does that mean?
What's 3.0?
We're very below the radar in the pickleball
yeah.
scene.
All right. So there's a rating system for pickleball people, people that play. And let's just say beginners and kind of like starters is in the morning, and then more advanced players is in the afternoon. All right.
So is it like on a 0 to 10 scale, or
no? It's, I think the highest rating is 5. I don't know.
Okay. And
I'm
we would be
3.5.
So we would be a 0.5.
No, you would probably be a, I don't know,
a
2?
1. I think we're a 1. What do you got around your neck there?
So this is the giveaway. It's a cooling towel.
Hi.
Yeah. So you just wet it a little bit and wrap it around, and it's actually kind of amazing. It works really well.
Those things are pretty cool.
Yeah. And then the volunteers are going to have some t-shirts. But anyway, I wanted to talk about our sponsors, because that's important, and that's why I had to write this down. Thanks to our sponsors, Alex King, of course, because he sponsors almost everything.
It's about time Alex King donates some money.
Oh my God!
I mean,
I know.
It's about time he did something in this community.
Yeah, he's wonderful. The Community Foundation, which is founded in Cape Coral, so it's the Cape Coral Community Foundation, also gave us some money.
Really?
Really nice. I actually applied for the grant, and they gave it to us for the 2025 tournament, but we didn't have it because of Helene and Milton. Oh, stop it.
I want to be able to see you, and she's sitting forward.
Okay.
So
I want to be able to ignore you, so I'm sitting sideways.
Yeah, so Helene and Milton canceled the 2025 because, Bay Oaks just got drenched.
Yeah.
So that's why it's this year.
And this
Such a bad couple, Helene and Milton.
Oh,
yeah.
They're not
They're
welcomed back on this beach.
right. So Gearbox, which is a vendor for pickleball equipment, they gave us some equipment to give away. Publix gave us some money to buy bananas and granola bars.
Good.
The fire department is coming, and they're going to give away water.
They're going to be there to help us when we keel over and might need
Yeah.
CPR.
And Pam Beerson, who is the instructor at Bay Oaks, is helping us out. And then, of course, Bay Oaks and the Community Foundation. So those are all our sponsors.
Have you ever had sciatica?
No, but guess what? I will be happy to play with Kim.
Oh, good. Okay.
If
No,
you,
I'm not backing out. I don't care how injured I am.
No,
I'm
you're
playing.
not playing.
So
You're not
if
playing.
you don't
You're
want to
not
play, if
playing.
you can't play, let's put it that way, I will be your backup. How's that?
I'm playing.
That's too much liability for me to take on. I want to actually win this year. I need a good partner.
There
You
You
know,
were so-
the problem is this year, Will is so tall.
And
I know.
think he's a player too, right? He
And
plays.
He's got octopus
His
arms.
wingspan is amazing.
He's
Yeah.
like an eagle. It's
Yeah.
gonna be like.
So it's going to be kooky.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
going to be my only
I
chance
will
to hit
say,
Dan with the
though,
ball. That's
I
what,
have
that's
been-
what I'm looking forward
I
to.
have been practicing. I've been going to Orlando. And I
Nice.
practice with a group up there, and they've been giving me some suggestions. So I now know
Dear.
to stay out of the kitchen.
Oh, yeah, you got to
That-
stay out of the kitchen.
And
yeah.
and the scoring, I'm getting much better at keeping
Good.
score because that is a complicated thing.
Well, you're good at staying out of the kitchen. I can tell you that. I mean,
I'm as good as that as you are of staying out of the garage or fixing anything around the house.
So we're going to use the king, queen of the court process.
yes, of course.
Yeah. And what that means is it's a fast-paced individual entry event where players rotate partners and you aim to win every game, but the people that lose move down and the people that win move up to the queen
Got it.
king court. And that's the way we did it last time. It worked really well.
We
Um,
must have missed it last time.
No, we just played a tournament.
Yeah,
and that
you
was
just
it.
played at 8,
Yeah.
at 8:00.
'Cause we have a
and
show
that's
to
when
do.
and that's why we're doing the celebrity. I'm calling you a celebrity.
I couldn't find
The-
any real
The
celebrities.
celebrity event is at 8 a.m. So please try and come and cheer.
Yeah, we're going to try
Yeah.
and broadcast that debacle
8
live, too.
a.m. That's
yeah.
early.
It's early. It's
Yeah.
early, but we're, you all are so busy.
Yeah, well, we love the early hours. I was not happy when I drove down here at 7 and it was dark out. I don't like these people that are trying to change the time so that it's lighter at night. I think those people should just leave things the way they are. I like when it's light in the morning. I love to get up in the morning and
Well, it is going to happen soon.
no,
Yeah. No,
I'm
it
fighting
happened.
that. I'd
Yeah.
rather fight for property taxes than changing the
All right.
the lighting.
Okay, enough said on that.
Speaking of lighting,
So there's prizes for first, second, and third place.
yeah.
All right. And like I said, we've got the celeb match
Sweet.
starting off.
And there's still spaces for people to sign up.
Oh,
You can
yeah,
sign
yeah.
up.
We need folks.
Yeah, if you
So
don't, well, if you
please.
don't sign up to play, there really isn't any tournament, and there's no like Debbie and Jamie should sign up. I mean, what
Why
else?
not?
They should play
It's-
together as a
it's
team.
fun.
Yeah,
Mhm.
John and Kathy
And
Nash.
you split partners, so you're really
Right.
playing
Come
individually.
on, it's a fun thing for
It
crying
is
out
fun.
loud.
It is fun.
Yeah.
And we do have some so the FGCU students come over and volunteer also.
Yeah,
So
Nice.
it's a nice little, and they get credit for that for volunteering.
I'm gonna have to go back to when we played Dan and Jim just so you. I mean, we were psyched out by the outfits they had on. I mean, they had the high tube socks on and right the tube socks.
Tube socks.
And
yeah.
they were
tube
all
socks.
dressed in different colors. It was very distracting to see Dan coming at you dressed like he's from the 1970s.
Yeah.
No, but it was a lot of fun. And it's a
It was.
fundraiser for the Community Foundation.
It's a
It
lot
is.
of fun. And a lot of people, pickleball is very popular.
Yes.
I mean, there's pickleball courts going in back to back everywhere.
And front to front.
front to
Yeah,
front.
they're everywhere.
So we need a few more folks, and you can sign up by going to the Community Foundation website.
It's
and
easy to learn, and it's you don't need a lot of equipment.
right. You don't really need
No,
to move
no,
much either,
no.
which is
All you
No.
need to move.
okay. All right. And so you can also be a member of the Community Foundation. The annual fee to be a member is about $50.
I think so.
Yeah, and that really, it's so that you can volunteer your time. It's really volunteering your time to help out with events like this. The Community Foundation does several events throughout the year where they raise money to give money back to the community.
Right, exactly. And this really is something to just bring the community together.
Yes, we love the big group hugs that you guys provide. Yes. All right, Joy's out, dear.
Bye.
All right, thank you very much,
Bye.
Joy.
Thank you.
All right, before we introduce our next guest, I want to let you know that the UPS store is open in Santini Plaza. The UPS store is a packing and shipping guarantee store. Mailboxes are available for rent with physical address. They're open 7 days a week. They have a notary service, print services, and so much more. Call the UPS store if you want a mailbox, or if you just want to say, I love UPS, 239-747-6222. 239-747-6222. And now, the most popular man, the man everybody loves on Fort Myers Beach, Dan Allers. I wasn't really impressed with that round of applause there, Dan. It must be Shrimp Festival weekend.
Yeah, it's fatigue. You can't blame me. But, I feel bad for your sciatica. I suffer from a thing every once in a while, too.
Yeah.
It's a...
Are you still limping around?
No, it's every once in a while I get this Ed Ryan. It's a real pain in my...
Believe me, I have it every day.
Oh, you get the gout every once in a while, right?
Yeah, once in a great while. That's when you talk about shrimp and eating 3 pounds of shrimp in 7 minutes or something. Oh God, I could just see my foot blowing up now. But
yeah, that's crazy.
And you said 169 pounds?
169.
I think the last time I saw 169 was driving down at Minnesota, the freeway in Minnesota. That's 169. I think it's the last time I saw 169.
The highest I got was 235. That's when I was a little fat roly-poly, when I was in college, and just you eat whatever and you drink whatever, and so I got up to 235, which is, if you look at it now, it's like 55 pounds heavier than I am right now.
You would think we were at a Weight Watchers meeting with these two.
And so the lowest I got was 157 in 2009, I think, because I did some kind of bodybuilding contest, but 169 is, I was mortified. I thought the scale was broken.
You need a cheeseburger.
Yeah. Well, I was angry at an eater for saying that. So, but anyway, so how much do you weigh now? You don't need to answer that.
Me?
I
More than
know.
169, but less than 500.
So how much do you weigh, dear?
I weigh more than 120, less than 150.
I can't believe you didn't smack me for asking you that.
I don't care. I guess I do care because I didn't say it. I'm 133 on a good day.
Is that good? Is that a good female weight? I have no idea.
There's no good or bad. There just is what it is. Nobody really cares.
I see. All right. Good enough. So Friday, let's start with Friday. Dan, you guys had a lovely 30th anniversary celebration. And I have to tell you that when I went back on the golf cart from here, and Dawn was driving the golf cart, Karen Woodson, former council member Karen Woodson, was on the golf cart. Now, on Friday, they had regular council members, current council members, and former council members. Of course, that's the whole group of people that were recalled, and a group of people that caused the recall were all sitting in a group. And I was like, wow, this is slightly awkward. So I said to Karen, Karen, I got to give you credit for not pushing Bill Veach or Ray Murphy off the stage when you all got up there to take that picture. So,
well, it was nice that we had them turn, everybody turned out. The people that could make it, made it. And, 30 years is a big milestone. So
and it was kind of cool for everybody to get in the picture together. And what did the plaque say? I didn't see. Do you all have your names on the plaque?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what it said. Basically, just congratulations on 30 years. That's about it. I don't remember.
Where's
exactly
the plaque going?
I don't know. I didn't get a chance to ask Will.
Were your names, the current council members' names on it? Because I love that.
Yeah, current council members' names were on it. That's the first I got a chance to see it.
Plaque? Is it like a wooden?
It's just like a wooden. It's just a little wooden plaque.
Yeah,
not massive.
So the other thing,
I guess, is probably at Town Hall.
The other thing that was cool was if you walk from Bayside Park to Times Square, there was some artwork that was out on the road here. I don't know if you guys had a chance to see that. Joanne Shamp,
a lot of old pictures,
is amazing. A lot of old pictures, and Joanne Shamp is she's a former council member and vice mayor, I think, right?
Yep.
She had some amazing pictures that she's donating to the town, and I think Will said they're going to try and you got to go through the whole donation process, but maybe put them up on on the walls over there. She's quite the artist. Holy moly!
Yeah, you remember before the storm when I believe she was still on council, she got into doing some art, and she had some really good stuff that she would sell off. And she reached out about a week and a half or so, 2 weeks or so before the event, and said she wanted to do something with the art. So I put her in contact with Will, and you got to see some of her stuff out here. She does a really good job.
Yeah, and the other thing was anything else about, and the cupcakes were great. The cupcakes, everyone had
How
a
many
good time.
cupcakes did you eat?
I had 0 cupcakes. I'm not a.
Good. See, you wouldn't be 169.
Yeah, I think Howie actually had one. No, our staff did a great job, and they were all out there. I thought it was cool. They had the little signs, ask me questions.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, it worked out really well.
This job well done.
Yeah, the team worked really hard to make that happen, and it was hot. It was a warm day too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and when your PIO got up there, Abby, you were the last one to speak and said, "Here's the most popular man on Fort Myers Beach." I about threw up in my mouth when she said that.
Yeah.
Where did she come up with that one?
I know, and I told her you don't have to lie to be my friend.
And the other thing too is, I've never seen you read a speech off a piece of paper. You always ad-lib it, and I was like, "This is not you. You're not."
I don't think you've always ad-libbed.
Always.
Usually, I don't know that I've ever really
the hurricane
written
thing.
anything.
No.
Yeah, I guess I don't remember, but no, it's not my style. But I thought it was important to get the message that I wanted to get out, because sometimes you get talking and you see people in the crowd, and then you start talking about other things.
That's what people want you to do. They love you for that. Then you.
But
were
it was.
reading.
I don't know. I wanted to make sure I got this.
It was a more formal thing. Yeah.
Are you gonna put that in a plaque too, like frame that so you can put that?
You assume it's not already done.
Then Saturday, great job with the Shrimp Festival parade and the event yesterday. Thousands and thousands of people were here.
Yeah, it was fun. We got a chance. Megan and I went down a little early and kind of went through the parade staging area. And there was a nice old lady. I can't remember what her name was. She was 91 years old.
Wow.
And she was with one of the RV parks just off the island. And we had stopped at the library, and we're talking with some people at the library. And this lady comes running up. She goes, "Is that your golf cart?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "We've got this lady that can't get to where she needs to go. Can you help us?" So we loaded her in the golf cart and gave her a ride over. And she was so much fun. I wish I could remember her name, but she's like, "No, I plan on walking." I'm like, "Okay." But I did see her in the float, so she didn't walk. But
yeah, there was a lot of good floats, and the marching
creative.
Band was great.
Yeah, the band was great. It was nice to see them.
The Dunbar.
I didn't get to stay for the awards. Who won? Do you remember?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
Well, what good are you?
The Dunbar Marching Band was the band that was. Hey, Drew, do you want to come on for a sec? Yeah. Come on
over. We got another.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hey,
This
Drew,
is,
how you doing?
by the way, everybody, this
Hey.
is Drew from the Fort Myers Beach Lions Club. Go ahead, Drew.
Hey, yeah, thanks. Yeah, wonderful day. We had a magical day yesterday. It was amazing. Lots of shrimp eaten. More shrimp will be eaten today, though. So come on back for sure. It's another beautiful day on the beach.
Yeah, and you.
Yeah, I brought some more hats. We're all out of those orange ones that you love so much.
Yeah, we have hats here. If anybody wants a Shrimp Festival hat, they're $35, and the 100% of the money goes to the Lions Club.
That's right. Yeah, and all the charitable giving we do all year long.
And they have some pink ones, it looks like. I had some people asking about the pink ones yesterday.
Yeah, yeah, the pink ones. There's like a shrimp tail, and then there's another one that's a gigantic shrimp with googly eyes, and it's like I don't know if it's anatomically correct, but it's a giant shrimp on the head.
All right. I'm not putting that on. I know. I like the orange. I like the classic orange one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
a lot of people like the pink one. It was kind of neat.
There was a lot of pink ones. We only have a few of those big giant canoe shaped.
So the
giant
shrimp boil will be at the parking lot by the SOB from 10 o'clock now until 4, or
until we run out.
Until you run out. And there's a beer truck.
And yeah, the beer. It's got cold beer and hot shrimp. I mean, why would you want to be anywhere else?
Yeah. And you got the vendors across the street there in the other parking lot.
Yeah. So the arts and craft vendors there all day long. There's some beautiful stuff in there too. It's really great stuff.
And the last event of the weekend will be the shrimp eating contest at Bayside Park, which is now 2 o'clock.
That's right. 2 o'clock. Yep.
All right.
All right.
Good.
Yeah,
hey, who won the best float yesterday?
Oh, well, there's several categories. But Oyster Bay, the one that had the giant solo cup.
That's who you were talking about, Dan.
Yeah.
The lady was from the RV park on the other side.
Well, there were two of them in there, I think, wasn't there? There was two RV parks.
Oh, two. There's San Carlos RV park.
She was with San Carlos.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah, the amazing stuff out of there. But they get super excited about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's lots of winners. Everybody get to have a good time. It was a really good day. Really appreciate all the help from.
Good job, man. Good job this year. The 68th annual Shrimp Festival and Parade. Awesome.
Yeah.
We'll see you later on.
Yeah. Cheers. Thanks, guys.
See you later on.
Are
Drew
you planning for next year?
Yeah, we're on
starting?
it. Yeah, March 13th and 14th next year.
Very
All
good.
right.
Right there. Come on back.
Is there any chance Lynn Hall Park will be available?
Well, we're cautiously optimistic, but that totally depends on the county. So they say yes. Well, they haven't started it yet, but if they get the bathrooms there and if they get power, they'll clear us for events.
Yeah.
We'll see.
It's going to be a close call, I think. I mean, if they actually start work this year, it's
Well,
gonna
maybe
be,
Crescent Park might be an option. You know,
Oh,
that
yeah.
should be
Yeah,
done.
maybe
it'll
so.
be cover.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then right there on the beach will be.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, Drew Hillis,
right,
everybody.
thanks, everybody.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Drew. Appreciate it. All right, and again, so there's no misunderstanding. The shrimp eating contest is at 2:00 in Bayside Park right here. So, and then there's music right after that at 3:00 that the chamber and the town put on. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah. Anything else about the parade or the shrimp festival that you want to talk about before
No,
we
it
get
was as everybody said, it was a great turnout. I was a little worried in the morning. I didn't see a lot of the chairs sitting along the boulevard, and then all of a sudden they came out of nowhere and it was packed. So it was fun.
It was packed, and it was so great to see the calendar girls. They always do such a.
It was one of the
hilarious.
one of the
Great
parades
job.
we actually didn't get involved in this year. It's a lot of work to
Right.
get in. I mean,
Yeah.
just leading up to it and then afterwards, and so it was nice to be a spectator and just kind of walk around and talk to people.
Yeah.
Now that's not going to be the same next weekend, right?
No, next weekend we'll be fully involved in the St. Patrick's Day parade.
Yep. And
So-
so everybody knows. Do you guys, Joy? Do you know what time the parade starts? Is it 9 or 10? You know what time it starts?
I'm
Megan?
looking over at the boss.
10:00 for the parade next
The
week.
parade.
10
Okay.
o'clock.
And so everybody knows the parade starts at Santini Plaza next weekend, and it comes to Sterling Avenue where the women's club lot is, and there's going to be live entertainment there. There's obviously going to be a booze tent and other activities going on, but it's mostly music and drinking and having a good day.
Yeah,
For
having
St.
having
Patrick's
fun.
Day.
So I'm guessing that'll be an event.
Yeah. And so
Yes.
we're also going to broadcast that parade live, but we'll be last year. Thank you to CVS. We were in the CVS
Yep.
area, but we're going to be closer to the ending of it this year, just to kind of mix things up. Yesterday being at the library was awesome because like you said at the beginning, I was worried there was going to be nobody down there because people like to cluster by Margaritaville and Times Square, you know, kind of toward the end. But by the time the thing started, man, they were 2 or 3 deep over there. So it was a great time, and people were whooping it up over there. And we had
By the time that I got down on the, thank you to Warren and Jilly, let me borrow their electric bike because that made a big difference.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of traffic and there was people everywhere. Thanks to the Lee County Sheriff and the deputies because they were really managing a lot of people and a lot of cars and bicycles and strollers, and everybody was going every which way. So
we ran into a lady that was in her car. She was sitting in the middle of a side street. So we stopped and talked to her and asked if everything's okay. And you can see the steam coming out of her ears. She was doing an Uber Eats delivery.
Oh my God.
And she didn't know that they were closing it down. So she just did the delivery and they closed down the road. So she was stuck on the street until after the parade. She couldn't leave.
That's crazy.
She was not happy.
There was some people that were checking out of Margaritaville out of the resort and dragging their luggage up over the bridge because they couldn't get an Uber driver down. So
and I
you
said
got to check those things when you go on vacation.
And I said this yesterday on the show, and I don't mind saying it again. The Lee County Sheriff's Department and your staff, Tom Yazzo and his crew, it's a major undertaking during these kinds of times where people drive their cars into giant groups of people for no reason, to close off roads to have a parade like this, even though it's not a huge parade like maybe Macy's Day Parade is. But you've got so many side streets on Fort Myers Beach. You've got to have regular deputies and volunteers and your staff. Otherwise, anything can go wrong, and you never want that to happen.
Yazzo and Commander Layler, those guys, I mean, they communicate all the time. They had quite a few sheriff's deputies. Again, our team was out there. I thought they did a great job.
And I didn't hear of anything popping off that happened, or it seemed like it was seamless.
No, there was, in the past, you noticed usually like one squad car or something. There were 2 and 3 squad cars at almost every single intersection that, to your point, that you couldn't drive through. So they did a great job. And these guys have been doing this a long time. Yazzo comes from a background of knowing what he's doing. And obviously Commander Layler, he's been down on the beach for 30 years or so. He knows what he's doing.
And I imagine one of the most stressful things is shutting the roads down and trying to keep people safe.
Well, yeah, when you talk to law enforcement, one of the most stressful things for them is trying to prepare for the unknown. You can prepare for what you know and what you think you know, but it's the unknown that is very difficult to prepare for.
So there was one band, high school band, Dunbar High School Band yesterday was freaking amazing. I mean, they are unbelievable. They actually, if you missed it, they came down here to Bayside Park. They must have did 10 songs here in Bayside Park afterward as we were getting ready for the awards. They were going to be in the Women's Club St. Patrick's Day Parade, but I think there's at least 2 other bands, if I remember, 4 high school bands. I mean, the high school bands and parades are the best thing. Marching bands.
A lot of fun.
Those kids are amazingly talented.
And they were out there. It was hot
too. Yeah, they were. There was a lot of good ones.
Yeah.
They had the Zumba. I think it was the Zumba class that was walking out there. I saw, what was the other one? There was like a dance thing. It was all young kids that were.
Yes, the under the sea thing.
Under the sea thing, yeah. They poor kind of kids were looking hot.
Yeah. Very coordinated.
Yeah, it's the fun thing about those events and the Shrimp Fest and all the other events that happen on the island is they're getting so big now that you can't see everything. I didn't know they were playing music down here. It would have been nice to come down and see that, but it's so there's so much going on everywhere. It's hard to get to everything and see everything.
Yeah, and yesterday was hopping because you had the farmers market in Times Square, and then you had the vendors down here, and then you had all the activity going on here, and it was amazing.
If you couldn't find something to do this weekend, you were trying.
The vendors. I did a walkthrough with the vendors, and there's a lot of really unique and quality stuff down there.
And I hope Lee County can get their act together and get Lynn Hall Park open by next year, because those vendors are so dependent on the Shrimp Festival, and they are so stuffed together in that parking lot. And thank you to the Mars Marine people. That's their parking lot. They donated over to the Shrimp Festival. They don't need to do that. They can make $20 a spot parking people in that lot, and they and the same thing across the street where they I don't know who owns that lot over there, but
it's John Richard.
John Richard. It's all donated property for one of the busiest weekends on the island. And if they can get that Lynn Hall Park parking lot open, man, that's just the perfect spot for all those vendors and what goes on for the Shrimp Festival. So I hope they can get it done.
Well, and hopefully, maybe Crescent, like I said, Crescent Park might be an option if once that's done, that'll be the first thing done. So I'm sure they'll be on it.
And I don't know if anybody saw yesterday, but Matt DeVette was in the parade.
He was.
He was in the parade. Yeah. So
he was supposed to be the original marshal.
Yeah. And then he was a co-marshal.
And then Will was, and then Matt was back again. So they were. I think they were.
They shared it.
They were co-marshals.
Yeah, I got a chance to talk to him for quite a while before the parade started. So we'll keep you up to date on what's going on there with him. And
it looked like he had his family with him, and they were having a good time throwing.
Yeah, and if you don't follow, obviously everybody follows him on Facebook. I mean that is that's his revenue generator right now. So if you can, all you need to do is like or comment on Facebook right now, and Zuck Bucks will come your way. So
Zuck Bucks.
Yeah. All right, so the next parade is next weekend, and then the March 21st is the pickleball tournament. A lot of stuff happening on the beach this next month.
Yeah, March is busy. I can't believe we're already a week through March.
And
this year already has gone so fast.
And I have to tell you, I actually think all those crazy traffic lights are helping.
I would agree with you. I would say, I was talking with Tom from Margaritaville the other day. And he made a good point. Right now, all the lights aren't finished yet, and the syncing of those lights hasn't happened yet. So it'll be interesting to see if that actually helps even more. I'm still not a fan of the zigzag one between the lights and Crescent and at the base of the bridge, but it's, it is what it is. But it does, to me, it seems like it's moving.
And people are figuring out when they come over the bridge, there's less people kind of merging over to the left at the last minute.
Yeah, well, I think they're taking this season to figure that out. Yeah. Not everybody has figured out if I'm in the right lane, I need to go right. And if I'm in the left lane, I need to go left. They don't know that yet. And they won't know that until they do it at least once.
Yeah, they'll figure it out. I mean, it's a learning curve. But so far, like I said, we're down towards the south end. We're south of Publix. And we know how long it normally takes to get from the, this time of year from there up to the north end. And it's been significantly less every day that we've done it.
Nice.
And we know that Lee County is planning to start the work on this light here, and it will be done in September-ish, is what I heard, what we all heard.
Yeah, well, it'll take, I think they said a month and a half from when they start. I'm trying to recall what they said at the BOCC meeting last Tuesday. I think they said it'll start in May and be done I don't think it'll be September.
Before that?
I think it'll be done before September.
So can you all just picture what we're talking about here? We're talking about a traffic intersection with a light that's basically 2 months to repair that will take 4 years to repair because you have to wait on the federal government.
Well, and I think that's the part that people need to be reminded of. Could the county have gone out and replaced that? Sure. Could any community gone and replace things faster? Sure, but that would have came out of your general fund to pay for it. If you want the federal government, FEMA, to step in and pay for it, you got to wait for them to what they call obligate it. Once they obligate it, that means you will get the reimbursement of doing that. So could you do things faster? Sure. But, you know, that's money that the taxpayers are going to pay. I mean, I guess you could say FEMA taxes, federal tax dollars too, but that's the reason that things like that take so long after disaster.
But don't you think there's got to be certain areas, like if there was a light on, I don't know, McGregor or somewhere in downtown Fort Myers that was knocked out by Hurricane Ian, the county would designate that as that needs to be fixed tomorrow. Like the bridge, the Sanibel, I mean, that was fixed in 3 days.
Well, that was a governor coming in and saying, right, we're going to get
and
this
that's
done.
a different, you know, they had the four-way stop. I mean, it worked. I'm wondering how it's going to work when the light goes back in there, because the timing of that light is really going to be critical.
It's crucial. Well, you can see when they have people directing traffic, like yesterday, it flows, right?
But
when there's a person that can, when there's a person that can direct traffic and that can see, okay, there's not so many people waiting there, I'm going to let this, you know, this group go further. When there's a light and the timing is set,
Well, listen, you come over that bridge now, there are people everywhere and they're crossing whenever they can cross. Nothing is going to change that. And they didn't put any of the landscaping in like they said they were going to put in.
No, that's coming. That'll get done.
Yeah.
That's going to get
so
done.
maybe that'll help or something.
That'll get done. I believe it gets in. Remember, I'm sure somebody listening will correct me, but I believe when it gets to that, the FDOT will be installing it, and then the maintenance will all be done by Margaritaville.
Oof.
So something that as I'm coming back from the cupcake ceremony Friday, I'm waiting. I'm standing in Times Square. Now there's a traffic cop there, or what do you call them? I don't want to be politically incorrect.
Traffic control.
I don't know if it was the sheriff or I don't know who he was working.
When I went through there, it was our team that was there.
Okay, I wish you wouldn't have said that. So I'm waiting and I'm waiting.
But I don't know what time. It could have been different times.
Could have been. So the car stopped, and the people are like kind of waiting to see. The guy didn't say anything. The car stopped, and then people just started walking because he stopped the car. People just started walking, but he didn't give them the command to walk. And then he goes, "Oh, sure, just walk wherever you want to walk. Turn up your hearing aids." He's yelling at the people. I'm like, holy crap! The guy's got.
When was that? What time was that?
Well, I left right after the ceremony ended, so it was whatever. It was 3. Because
I walked. The only time I walked through that intersection was when we left
3:30
Veterans Park.
3:30, and he said it where
check who was on staff at 3:40.
But he wasn't giving anybody direction. He made anyway. It wasn't a big deal. I just thought, everybody's stressed out in that spot right there. The last thing you need is the guy that's in charge of everything getting all stressed out.
Well, everybody I talked to, both LCSO officers, volunteers, our people, it is a stressful.
Yeah.
I mean, when you might, as a parent, you remember when you would give directions to your kids and they didn't follow. How frustrating. Imagine hundreds of other people doing the exact same thing at the exact same time.
Are you comparing us all to children?
I would
that
never
intersection.
Do that.
I mean, there needs to be a camera, a 24/7 camera at that intersection just to watch people and the way they cross and the whole thing. But the good news is there was somebody there.
Yeah.
Because when we first went over, there was nobody there. But the good news is there was somebody there. And
March is an important month.
Yeah,
and I did ask the BOCC if they could work with our staff to try to get something out there for the months from March to help us.
What's with your computer?
I don't know where that's at. I'll check with Will.
So the other thing, speaking of traffic and people crossing everywhere, one of the things that came up at one of your meetings was that, hi, how are you guys doing? Are you friends of Dan? Do you know Dan, the mayor? Yeah. Oh,
how are you? He's got the No Name Pub on. If you've never been there,
where's No Name
down
Pub?
in the Keys.
I see. Is that like the smallest bar in America or something?
It's hard to find, but when you find it, if you're lucky enough, you'll get to see the key deer lining the road as you Big Pine Key. Yeah.
Is it called No Name Pub?
No Name Pub. They got great pizza. Dollar bills taped to the ceiling, kind of like the old Shamrock.
Is that where all the naked people go?
No. They've got wild chickens that run around. It's called the No Name Pub. It's off the beaten path.
Oh, Yeah, we don't get to Key West much.
But if you get a chance, every time we've gone in there, we've been fortunate enough to see the key deer on the side of the road. They're just little tiny deer.
Real deer.
Real deer, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they have
So
those
thank
out
you
at the
guys for
airport.
coming. Have a great day. So,
Hey.
no, not you, them.
Oh.
No, so what at the meeting, somebody brought up that you guys, maybe it was Tom, might have been Tom Yazzo or the Public Safety Committee. You were talking about coming up with concrete barriers to put on the sidewalk so people couldn't cross. I mean, I have said for 1,000 years it's impossible to do, but the way Las Vegas does it is the way it works. You could never do that here in Fort Myers Beach, but the part of the major issue with Estero Boulevard is the pedestrians are causing the issue.
That's the traffic backup. That's
that is
the
the traffic backup. Yeah. Right. So what is that whole wall thing about that came up?
Well, there's always been talk about some sort of temporary or permanent barriers along. We talked about from the old Hooters area, roughly down by Key Estero shops up to Times Square. But you've got FDOT, you've got LEDOT, and then you've got the county, you've got the town, all involved in making that happen. And this has been talk that's been going on for years, since before the storm. So hopefully we can get somewhere where we can do something. Because I agree, if you can funnel people to, you just look at any big city, like you mentioned, Las Vegas, they funnel people to the crosswalks instead of just crossing wherever. That does several things. It helps increase safety. It helps improve traffic flow. And it just trains people to say, okay, I know I got to go to the crosswalk now. I can't just cut across.
But how would you manage that? I'm not saying it would happen, but how would you? There's so many side streets between, the library and Times Square. How do you manage the side streets and the entrances?
Well,
to
you're
all
not
the
you're not gonna solve every problem, right? But if it helps eliminate some of the
problem. Well, and
problem,
if it's just from Hooters down.
Well, there's
a Hooters down here.
There used to be,
but what is there?
Is there any Hooters
3
left?
or 4 crosswalks in that 5 crosswalks maybe in that section? So if you can get people to go to that, we see it all the time, especially when sunset. People just come across off the beach accesses and they just go wherever they go instead of walking 20 feet in either direction.
Do it. I think it would have to be those.
Yeah, I don't know that landscaping will do it, but there are different kinds of what's it going to cost? Is there funding available for it? Grant funding? What are the
a mitigation
risks?
wall and a mitigation wall.
Right.
No, I think the landscaping is just going to be ruined because people are going to try and, the minute you see a little bit of a path going across the landscape,
it's going to be well worn.
Bigger and bigger, and that it's going to ruin.
Well, again, you're not going to solve everything unless you do like Las Vegas did.
Right.
And they actually make it that you can't cross, and you got to go to the spiral things and walk over. And but we're obviously never going to probably be able to do that.
So the town council had a joint meeting with the Public Safety Committee to try and decide whether there was any relevance to the Public Safety Committee. And to be honest with you, Dan, I don't really think there is. I mean, and this is no shot at the people on the committee. I love Dawn and all those people on the committee, Kieran. But, I mean, you got a sheriff's department. You got Tom running whatever department he runs. That's kind of a complement of the sheriff's department. Why do you need a Public Safety Committee? Why not have a parking committee?
Well, the point of the Public Safety Committee or any committee is to get, gather facts, gather things, and discuss it, and then make recommendations to the council. They actually do and can do a lot of work that the staff do. You can direct these volunteers who are giving their time to help do a lot of the research. After the storm, it's been, we have a challenge because our main road, obviously, we don't own it. And we work well with the county, but you got to get sign-offs to be able to do things. But I think if what you heard in that meeting is, there's a lot of things when it comes to safety. You could do, one of my suggestions was trying to have like an appreciation, like they have the Anchorage Advisory Commission has their day, to have some sort of
cruisers,
the cruisers appreciation. Yeah, if the Public Safety Committee could do something similar to that,
was the best idea. That was the best idea.
Inform people and hear what people's problems are, because we can't be everywhere all the time, and you don't get to see all the things. But data collecting. We like yesterday, I didn't know it was there. Nobody's ever called or complained about it, but I stepped in a hole that I've never seen before on one of our roads. And
did you go down?
No, I didn't. I just but now I know I'm going to bring it up that this is there, and they may know about it or they may not. But I think that's huge important. We talked about the call boxes coming back. Those were just about to get implemented before the storm came. So there's a lot of different things that we can do. The lights.
Don't bring that up yet. We're gonna. That's like the piece of resistance.
Well,
so the lights,
I thought your idea about having I don't know what you call that, like a fair, a public safety fair. That was a great idea. I think they could get into that. Everybody's into the the cruisers appreciation thing. You can come up with some.
Well, and I think the public safety committee, I didn't bring it up in the meeting, but I mean, there's some cross things that they could do, water safety down the canals, informing people. We really, the Anchorage Advisory Committee, and I'm sure Ed is here somewhere. He'll tell me if I'm wrong, but that could be something that the safety committee could work with, and getting information out, working with the Coast Guard about boating safety and canal safety. And, it doesn't have to be just specifically to one committee or another. Right. You can have crossover.
Or getting we've talked about that before, is that where the beach accesses are, to get the life jackets that you can borrow, for the kids.
Well, the other thing too is every once in a while a committee becomes obsolete, and that's the problem with government, is when you run
but public safety is never going to become obsolete.
Well, if you have a purpose, I agree with that. I feel like I talk to the committee members. I don't think they feel like they have a purpose. And when your committee members feel like they don't have a purpose, you might want to say, maybe this committee has run its course. I mean, that's the problem with government. Government is forever. Nothing ever goes backward with government. It always is forever. And I know it's a minor thing, but I mean, a parking committee doesn't exist on Fort Myers Beach. That's absurd.
What would the parking committee talk about? We don't have enough parking?
Well, nothing. Maybe they can kind of come up with a list of solutions to the parking, because obviously your parking is more of an issue than public safety. People aren't getting killed on Fort Myers Beach or mugged or anything like that. I mean, that's the point, is what are your top priorities or problems on Fort Myers Beach? Traffic and parking. You're never going to solve traffic. April will solve traffic.
I don't think you're going to solve parking either. You can't. Okay. There's no more space. I mean, you have the space that you have.
5 volunteers going to do about public safety? That's my only point. It's just like, okay, make them feel like they're doing something. They want to feel relevant. That's all.
They have done a lot. And I think what you heard from them was a lot of the things that they've been working on over the last 5 and 6 years are now almost coming to fruition. We talked about the lights. We talked about the call boxes that were there. We talked about they did a lot of work on the roundabout at the base of the bridge. So all the things that they've been working on are now coming to fruition. But because of the storm, they haven't really gotten any new tasks to focus on. It wasn't about they feel like they have nothing to do. It's about, what do you want us to do?
Well, I don't think the Public Safety Committee, and I don't want to harp on this. It's not
really. Well, you're harping on it.
It's not really a big deal. But the Public Safety Committee had nothing to do with the roundabout. The state was going to put that roundabout in no matter what. The Public Safety Committee said what they're doing with all these crosswalks is absurd, and the state ignored the Public Safety Committee.
Well, in certain situations they did, but in certain situations they didn't. For a perfect example, right in front of the ice cream shop at the base of the bridge. Remember, that used to be a guardrail.
Yeah.
Well, their data said that guardrail was going to be a guardrail. And we argued and said, this gets hit every other month. Mm-hmm. They didn't believe us. Well, 3 days after they installed that brand new one at the base of the bridge there, it got struck and broke. Yep. And then they fixed it and now you see a concrete wall there. So they do listen. They were going to do a cantilevered bridge up here. Remember that whole thing when they were going to do this whole, they went back to their engineers, and their engineers were like, yeah, this is not a good idea. So that's why that didn't happen. So they do listen, and it's because of the work.
Oh, no, I think those two things are great examples of how, but it wasn't because of the Public Safety Committee. It was because of, people on the beach know better. Like, they knew that thing was going to get crashed into. Everybody did.
Well, the town did push back through the Public Safety Committee and then through town management on a lot of the things that we just talked about at the base of the bridge. At the end of the day, some of it, the crosswalks fell on deaf ears, right? We know that, but some of the things did get approved. And at the end of the day, you don't have the ability, the town or the Public Safety Committee didn't have the ability to say, we're not doing that.
Right.
It was going to happen, to your point, whether we liked it or we didn't.
Right. Like, everybody believes that going off the island and switching the lane, so there's 2 lanes going off and 1 lane going on during the busiest traffic time, is a no-brainer. Everybody that travels through that traffic thinks, the Public Safety Committee, I think the town council thinks, that during the busiest times, somehow changing those lanes so there's 2 lanes going off and only 1 lane going on is a perfect solution to the traffic. They don't want to hear it, right?
Well, I don't know if they don't want to hear it, but I think that they were right. I was one of the biggest skeptics of that roundabout, thinking it's not going to work, and it's, the 2 lanes coming on is just going to, put people trying to merge at the last second on the bridge versus at Buttonwood. And I'll be the first to admit I was wrong. I mean, I do see some every once in a while, but not like you saw at Buttonwood or just before you came over the San Carlos Bridge of the jockeying for position.
Right.
Now that turn lane is an actual turn lane all the way through to the base of the bridge, that significantly is helping traffic, at least in my opinion. So I can admit that I was wrong. And again, I can't wait to see it all finished so we could see how it really does work.
Yeah.
I'm still not a fan of the crosswalks, but it's
a lot of crosswalks.
But again, it comes down to human error. The crosswalks are meant to do what the crosswalks are meant to do. If when you're not listening to that, when it tells you the zigzag one, I took it Friday for the first time, and it talks to you. It says, wait for traffic to stop. Well, people don't wait. They just dart out.
And the most absurd thing is having people cross the street right at the base of the bridge. There's no reason for there to be any crosswalks there. You can cross.
Well, dear, that's a done deal.
In the old, I'm just
it's
saying,
not changing now. So
Yeah.
you could cross at the old light where that was, and there was always a crossing guard there or whatever you call them, and they were helping out, and they were keeping gaggles of people on the side. But that's could be. I mean, I'm only saying that because it's a super dangerous spot for people to be darting out.
Well, that one
this way, that way, this way, that way.
Yeah, but I mean that one I can see more than the one that is between the two lights. To me, that one is, you've only got 50, 100 feet in either direction, and there's a crosswalk. Why you needed one right at the middle of that curve?
I know. It's a done deal. Can you move on?
Yeah, but just
people's heads are nodding. They're falling asleep.
My gosh.
Going through that intersection there reminds me of George
Can't stop 'em.
Costanza. You remember the Seinfeld with Costanza trying to push the Pac-Man thing across the street? That's what that reminds me of when trying
Kim,
to get across
that
the street.
symptom I mentioned at the beginning of the show is starting to come back today.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
So let's talk about lights because
let's do it.
because we never really talk about lights.
Yeah.
And I get people that send me emails, aggravated emails about the lights on the bridge. And we talk about this every weekend.
Just to be clear, the lights on the bridge are not under your purview.
And so I sent Dan an email. I said, Dan, here, I showed him a copy of it. I'm going to ask you about this again, like we do every weekend. But I mean, the whole thing with the lights not working on the bridge is just another case of government sucking.
Well,
or FPL sucking.
I wish I had a better update for you than when we had our weekly call with the people that are doing our work on Estero Boulevard. They are going to look into it on our behalf. We did bring it up. Both Jeff, myself, and Will all brought it up on the call. They're going to look at it's not their project, but they're going to reach out to their contacts to see if there's a reason why it's not turned back on, because they were on and then now they've been off. And
I mean, talk about a public safety issue. That's a public safety issue.
Well, unfortunately, some things take too long to happen, and something bad has to happen before people react. And I'm hoping this is not the case. But but on our note, people are still stealing electrical wire out of completed lights. So the lights
are completed.
They're now taking live wire, which is
dangerous.
So we're gonna when I say the town staff is gonna work with them to try to get joint messaging out to people to say, if you're seeing somebody working on these poles at this time to this time, they are not.
So wait, we're talking for clarification. We are talking about two different things. The lights on the bridge are not, the copper for the lights on the bridge are not being stolen. It's on
it's on Estero Boulevard. The contractors that are doing the lighting control for us are the ones that are still having issues with, and obviously Lee County Sheriff's Office is involved. It's not, stealing wire is one thing, but then messing around with live wire for lights that are already working.
I thought it was the wires that were in the open boxes that they were stealing.
They were, but now even with the light poles on, they're breaking into these boxes.
What are they climbing up the
How do they
light
break
pole?
into the boxes?
I don't know. I'm not a thief. I don't know.
There's a public safety.
Wow, that's so the lights that were working because
that were energized. Yes, we found out this Friday that they've stolen wire out of those now too. So it's someone that is not knows what they're doing.
Well, we need a public safety committee to put it.
You need cameras.
Yeah, maybe we could bring it up with the parking committee.
So
they're still hoping to be completed with the installation work, even with the setbacks of that in the next 2 weeks. And then FPL will continue to put their meters in. We came on the island. We met some friends for dinner on Friday night, and there was quite a bit of lights that we didn't notice that were on that are starting to come on. There's still sections that are off, but they're starting to, every day you're starting to see more and more lights come on. So
Dan started working on the lights on Estero Boulevard when he was 18. That's how
Oh.
long it's taken for these lights to go on.
It's been. I will be happy to say when the last light comes on that it's completed.
And they'll
We're
be
gonna have a lighting festival.
and it's gonna look like Christmas when they all come on because they're that pretty red color.
Yeah.
So the other
Amber.
thing
Amber.
is Lynn Hall Park is totally dark and dangerous too. I know that's a county parking lot, but is there no way to get temporary lights on for March in Lynn Hall Park?
I would have to ask Commissioner Malek on that. It's not our project.
Who?
It's not our park.
Maleka.
Commissioner Malek. He because we did talk to him. I know people. I read some of the comments and people are like, well, why couldn't you put up a temporary light, or why couldn't you do this at the light down here? And it's all questions that we've asked and had answers that there's reasons why they can't do it. I don't know the specific answer as to why you couldn't do it, but we were told you can't do it, and we were given specific reasons that it couldn't be done. But we have been asking, we have been trying. So it's not like, but again, if you have other ideas, please send them in. We can't think of everything.
So if you have questions about the lights, you can send them to me, or you can send them to the town rather. Nobody has any answers because other than those pretty red lights on Estero Boulevard.
If you have concerns on or under the bridge with the lights, you should direct your comments and your questions and concerns to FDOT.
Yeah, or Lee County.
I mean, you can send them to us and we will forward them along, obviously. But if you want to cut out the middleman and make sure they go to the right place.
And it is amazing after all these years how people don't realize, like, they'll still criticize you guys for the pier or for Lynn Hall Park or something. They don't realize that there's cross ownership of all these different properties on Fort Myers Beach.
Yeah, it's a little bit. We're a little bit different than some of the other barrier islands, right? We don't have our own police force. We don't own all of the parks and all the piers and all the stuff. So it's a little bit different, but you do the best you can. I think we've got probably the best relationship we've had with the county and the state, at least since I've been paying attention, since I've lived here. So as long as we can continue to improve on that and
thank you,
try to get things across the finish line.
So where did the road construction start for I know Estero Boulevard is going to be repaired again and again and again. I mean, where did it start?
I don't have an exact address of where they started, but I can get that and let you know.
It's on the south end, though, right?
Well, we wanted them to start on the south end. Obviously, It doesn't look like they're doing any work on the north end, but they have started doing some work. But obviously, until we can get through season, it doesn't make sense to have more traffic up here.
As they repair it, is it going to be the same kind of setup, the way the drainage and everything is?
I don't know that there's any plans to change what's there. It's to fix the stuff that's been broken. There's obviously sections of sidewalks that are missing, curbing that's broken, pavers that are broken and missing. My understanding is there's no, unless it's changed,
design change.
There's no design change.
Is there a way that they can tell how much damage was done just from maybe the design versus the storm?
Well, this is all storm related repairs. It's the design is the design. To redo that entire thing, I don't know that that's probably ever going to happen. But if I'm wrong, I'm sure someone's going to let me know. But my understanding is it's just to repair all the damage that has happened from the storms.
You haven't been wrong since we started the show 3 years ago.
Yeah, right.
Never.
Yeah.
So, what was the other thing? Oh, Beach Club One is Beach Club One is a condo timeshare building that's on the north end next to Pink Shell. They are trying to get open. I don't know if they're trying to rebuild or they've rebuilt and trying to get
on the west side, right? The only building between Pink Shell and Bowditch, right?
Yes.
Is that the one you're talking about?
No. I think it's on the other side, on this side.
Okay.
And they were having issues with FPL, and I sent that to you, and I sent that to Will. I just want you to know that it seems like they got a call from FPL like the very next day. So I don't know if you guys did something.
Anything you guys send to us, we will certainly send it on to the appropriate people. We can't control how fast they respond to you, but we will certainly escalate it to them, to the right people, as soon as we can.
Yeah. So I just want everybody to know that it seems like they did get an appointment. The FPL needs to charge something up over there, and it sounds like they'll be ready to reopen, which would be nice for the north end.
Good.
Hopefully they have all their wires intact.
Yeah. I mean, that's all we can do is if you've got issues, don't hesitate to send them to us. We will. If we can't solve them locally, we will get them in the right hands of the people who can.
So I watched the magistrate meeting. I know I'm boring you guys with all this stuff, but I watch every meeting because that's what I do. I sit on my sciatica to try and make it better. So I watched your magistrate meeting, and it was 9 minutes long. The magistrate that you have from Tallahassee the meeting was 9 minutes long. Do you really need to pay a magistrate in Tallahassee, or can Monica control it all now? It seems like it's kind of dwindling down the amount of issues you have.
Well, it depends on the issue. There was the reason we had to is if there was any kind of conflict of interest or scheduling, so there's a reason that we did that. I don't remember the specific reason, but I know it was something to do with conflict of interest and scheduling.
I see. Okay. Do you think taxes will go up this year?
Hard to say. Depends on what the staff recommends. And
do you think they should go up a tad?
I thought they should have went up more than they went last year.
Okay. They didn't go up last year, right?
Well, they did, but very, very, very small. You have to have, in order to get the adjustment that the staff was asking for, required a unanimous vote. So that's state statute that you have to do. We'll see what Will and staff recommend this year. We are going to have Matt Caldwell will be at our first April meeting to give us an update. I reached out to him to ask if he had any updates on his initial projections on where we're going to be ad valorem wise, and he's going to come and give a report for us at the first meeting in April.
How are the reserves?
Wait, before you answer that.
Okay.
Just so everybody knows, Matt Caldwell, they might not know who he is. He's the property appraiser.
Oh yeah, thanks.
And he has said that it doesn't look like the properties are going to increase the way they have over the last years. He said you guys should be prepared for it to be flat or to come down. Mm-hmm. And so maybe he'll have more detail on that for next year. So that it'll be interesting.
Yeah, we weren't expecting. I don't think that anybody was naive enough to expect that the first increase we saw after the storm was going to be sustainable. But if we can maintain or slightly increase every year, right. That's obviously we don't want to go backwards. That's the whole goal. So we're looking forward to seeing what he has to say. Just the eye test tells you a lot of construction is happening, right? Maybe not a lot of commercial,
right?
But a lot of residential construction is happening. New condos, as you mentioned, Ed, are coming back online every single month.
People are raising their houses.
So, we're obviously just look at the island over this last season. I mean, we're definitely coming back. We're definitely moving in the right direction. It may not be as fast as everybody would like, but there's certain things that just you can't control. But as long as that trajectory is going the right way, then we can continue to build on it.
Yeah, and Shelley is asking about London Bay, and all I can tell you, Shelley, is that on Tuesday's LPA meeting, nothing major is on there. There's like one agenda item for somebody's deck around their house, and that's it. So, but I can probably imagine that London Bay is going to try and get on an LPA agenda before November, but it has, for whatever reason, it's not on the next LPA agenda, and I don't know when it's coming up.
My understanding is that's in the back and forth with staff with reviews and recommendations and back and forth. They're still in that phase of it. So once that gets to a point where each side is done doing what they have to do, then it'll go to the LPA.
And a lot of work being done on the Wyndham property.
A lot of grading going on over there.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. A lot of misconception out there too. I've had some emails from people concerned that temporary use ETT permits have been approved for that project. That is not true. I asked Will about that specifically. They have asked for certain things, but nothing has been approved for that project as far as temporary permits are concerned yet.
Yeah, and I get a lot of emails. I don't know why I get any emails, but I get a lot of emails from people who say they can't wait for something to open on that property. They say, I live in the neighborhood. It's going to be a parking lot. I don't want it to be a parking lot. I don't, the noise, blah, blah, blah. So there's both sides of that. But the temporary use permit is for 5 trailers to serve food and alcohol.
The ask
is. It hasn't been approved. It's in review. And you are taking a harder look at all the extended temporary use permits because, as you've been saying for months now, you want to see brick and mortar.
Yeah. And council gave direction that will be the ultimate decider of who gets those, and when they don't, they will be reviewed every 6 months. And Will has been very, very out front about this, that he's going to apply it, whether residential or commercial. It's going to be the exact same. The criteria is out there for anybody that wants to look at it. It's not like it's a secret. You can look at the criteria that you need to meet to be able to have these temporary use permits. But you're going to be held to a high level. If you do get granted one, there are some that are in the 3-month phase now that staff is starting to review to see where they're at as far as progress goes. And if the staff determines that you're not making any progress or you're willingly going back for it or they can pull your permit. So you've got 6 months to continue showing progress because the direction from council was, we do want to see brick and mortars back. We don't want to see temporary uses forever.
Is there a criteria for the showing of the moving forward? Is there what is Will looking at for them to say?
I don't know all the bullet points, but it's available if you want it. You can certainly request it. Staff,
but there is something written.
Yes,
down.
there's written. Okay. There's written. It's I can't remember if it's a resolution or an ordinance, but there is specific guideline that he will follow, and he's following it. Like I said, whether it's residential or commercial, everybody's being treated the same.
Yeah, and somebody's going to have to be the bad guy eventually. I mean, you want to see progress. Somebody is going to have to put their foot down.
Well, and it's important to be fair, right? There's people that are going through the process
and consistent. Yeah, consistent. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like you saw. I don't know if you guys have seen the Plaka plans. Not the Plaka plans. It's not Plaka, but Shlomo is his name. Yeah. The property that used to be Plaka and Pete's Time Out is going to be one piece of property. They've got a nice big building they're building there. It seems like the ground level is going to be, something that can wash water through, that vendors can put their stuff down there, easily removable. I mean, it seemed like it's only three or four floors. And so, I mean, it's certainly not going to be what it was, but that Times Square area is never going to be what it was. It was being held together with twine back in the day. I mean,
well, and that if they get the mitigation wall, and then that'll change what they can do.
Yeah, if they choose to want to do that, but I mean, it's still initial. I've only seen what you posted about it. I've not seen any.
And there'll be a new generation of people that love that kind of stuff. The ice cream shop. I mean, when we were doing our show in Times Square, I was in some of the back rooms of those buildings, and I was like, wow.
Well, it was old. They were old.
Well, it
was way old.
I still talk to people about it to this day. I said, well, there's one thing that you can be certain for any place you're going to eat once Times Square is built back is there will be a new kitchen, not one that was there from 1940.
And there will be accessible bathrooms.
And the infrastructure will be improved, and so everything you got to try to find the good in every bad thing.
When you see some of those pictures in time. By the way, some people put. I know this is going to sound crazy coming from me, but some people put pictures of Times Square out there that there's no concept of reality of the pictures that they put out there, that they think like these, and they're saying these buildings have been approved and they're going to be built. There's no truth to any of that. And the thing is, I love those people that are behind that website, that Facebook page, but it's a total fabrication of those buildings on both sides of Times Square. Nothing like that has been approved. Even the Plaka property, it's just the first step. They've just applied for the first step. Nothing has been approved in that entire Times Square except for the ice cream shop.
Except for the ice cream shop, correct. So, you do see a lot of comments on every social media that you try to pay attention to, where people have a tendency of jumping before or leaping before they know how deep the water is. And you're never going to stop that. People that make judgments on people that just put stuff out, verify, just verify what you're looking at. Don't always believe, people love AI. Don't always believe what you read. You got to do a double check. I'll give you a perfect example of so my partner he loves AI. He believes, so we were talking about our business license, and there's different types of license you can have for sales and then obviously for going to auctions. So I'm like, we need to get this license. So he types it into AI and it comes back that you can't do that. He's like, you can't do that. I said, well, yes, you can. I know you can have simultaneous license to be able to sell and go to auctions. He's like, no, I'm telling you, AI says it's not. So we went back and forth arguing about it, and he ended up calling the state, and the state said, yeah. And he's like, yeah, you were right. So my point is, don't always believe everything you read.
I can guarantee you that nothing other than my truck getting stuck in the sand was AI. I mean, somebody else created that. I will never create an AI picture on our page. Like those
it's almost scary what it can do.
Yeah, those drawings from the Plaka property were actual drawings that the property owner submitted. I wait until they're in the portal. I try to be factual. Sometimes I get it wrong. If I get it wrong and I know I'm wrong, I hope I could admit that I got it wrong. But those are actual pictures. Doesn't mean they're going to get approved, but I try and point that out. This is the first step. He's got a proposal. He's put it there. And, and he's got to go through a year of back and forth with the town and then, with the staff and then get approvals or not approvals. But, I mean, I will never use an AI picture. I promise you guys that. And, unfortunately, now.
Knowingly.
True. Yeah. Like people that saw my truck stuck in the sand, some of them were like, oh, you're a hypocrite. You're a hypocrite. I'm a hypocrite. First of all, if my truck ever got stuck in the sand, I would get out of the truck and take a picture of it because of the way I've given people grief about getting stuck in the sand. I would do that to myself because if you can't make fun of yourself in that way, after the way I've made fun of people getting stuck in the sand, you are a loser.
Yeah.
And the picture was fake. It was totally fake. You could see the color of the sand was different.
It's some interesting, AI, what you can do. A friend of ours liked one of our golf carts, and she's like, God, I really want this cart. I said, well, you should see what you look like in it. And she's like, what are you talking about? I said, so I sent her the picture. I said, now put this in AI and say, I want to see what I would look like driving this thing. And she's like, well, and it asked for a picture of her. So she sends in just a headshot. What it spit out was her sitting in the front seat of that cart like she was driving it. You would not have known the difference if you didn't know she just did that. She was blown away. She's like, I can't believe that.
It's like, I know this whole Iran thing is AI. I mean, it never really happened. I'm just guessing. It's just a whole AI thing.
Yeah, so. I think you can believe this one. I think you believe that.
No, and there's this blue check mark thing that appears underneath posts that I put up there on other people's pages. And AI tries to come up with facts about your own page. Huh. And this lady has been trying to help me out. She's like, every time they try and answer questions about your page is incorrect information. I'm like, I don't even know how you deal with that because it's not on my page because I've disconnected that. It's on everybody else's page because AI thinks they're trying to help you.
Yeah, I think the more you read about it, the more you learn about it, the more specific you can get in your ask, the more authentic I think the answer really is. And you can do deep dives. You can do all these other kind of things. But
I just use the internet to spell check. That's all I do. So Shelly, you see, Shelly is not sure. She says Terry's was approved, right? Terry Prasad is who I'm guessing she's asking about. Terry's project that you saw in those pictures lately has not been approved. There's no such building in that I Love Fort Myers page that was ever approved. If you go back and search our page for Terry Prasad, you'll see he's got a white ice box that's gotten approved on this side of Times Square's property. Not even approved because he's building back what he's allowed to build back. He doesn't even need to get approval for it.
Well, I don't know that anything's been approved.
Right.
I mean, I don't know that he's gotten a development order approved yet.
He's got a plan to build like an ice box with office space and 3 hotel rooms or something.
Yeah, I don't know that a development order has been issued for that project, so they must still be going back and forth with staff. But as far as I know, there's been nothing approved through a DO or through council and LPA.
But guaranteed that picture that you've seen has not been approved. That picture of those gigantic buildings on both sides of Times Square, there's nothing close to being approved.
I think unless something's changed over the last week, I think your statement is correct that the only thing that has been approved is the ice cream shop.
Yeah, and they still got some stuff they got to go through to get their permits and all that. Man,
when Times Square, go through the DO process.
When Times Square gets niced up, man, and you start to see work done on the pier, it's really going to be amazing down there.
It'll be nice.
When that thing is rebuilt 100 years from now, it's really going to be it's going to be a place to be.
Well, hopefully in the next year or so, we'll start to see some significant progress on all that stuff. But we're getting there.
Are you happy with the way things are going? With the progress? On a scale of 1 to 10, where are you?
Well, I'm happy that, commercial projects have all been approved. I'm happy that we continue to see an increase in remodel and new development or new construction builds come in month over month. It's pretty steady, or sometimes it actually goes up. So to me, that's encouraging. It shows, as I said in my prepared speech, that I was trying to get the message across, that, it shows that people are reinvesting in Fort Myers Beach. And, when 2 years ago, you were hearing people saying, we weren't sure we wanted to build back. We weren't sure we wanted to invest, but because we feel this vibe is coming back, we want to invest back in and build back. And you're starting to hear more and more and more of that. And I'm getting more and more people that stop you on the street now, congratulating us for the work that we've done. Stay encouraged. Don't let the nays. There's more positive than negative now. So it tells me that we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah. And on Friday, it was nice to see the Fort Myers mayor here. Kevin Anderson comes down. You guys have a great relationship with Kevin and Fort Myers. And it was nice for him to come all the way down, fight through the traffic, and support the town.
Yeah. I mean, he's everywhere. That guy, he goes to everything. And Kevin's always been great. He's the most well-dressed person on the beach. Yes. I think that he's always in a suit and tie. Very rarely do you see him outside of a suit and tie. But no, he's always been. We've become good friends with him and his wife. And
so I'm going to ask you one off-the-cuff question before I get yelled at, to see what you would do.
Oh boy!
And you guys can ignore us for the rest of the show if you want to. So there's this thing going on in Cape Coral. You might have seen it on the news. There's this business that had this community refrigerator out in their property for the last 5 years. And people would come by and they would put food in the refrigerator, and people that needed food would go to the refrigerator knowing it was a place where you never had to sign in, and you never had to worry about people seeing you. If you needed something, you could get it. It was outside, but it was at a business, a plumbing business, and the town went by and they gave them a code violation the other day, and they said they had to remove it all. It's all litter. It all has to go. You're not allowed to do it anymore, the whole thing. And the city is getting brutally beaten up by what, these folks have done for people that needed food in the last 5 years. If you saw that happening like on a beach business where that was happening, but you knew it was a code violation, it's clearly a code violation. Well, what would you do?
Well, I would do probably what Cape Coral is doing. Hopefully they're working with the business to bring them into compliance. It's a great idea. And if it's something that one obviously meets health code and regulation,
there's no way to do it.
So then if it can't be compliant, it can't be compliant. It's a great idea, but maybe there's a better idea that you can do. There's got to be a way that I would want to work with them to see if there's a way to bring them into compliance, because it is a good idea. I mean, if you want to help people and people are okay with it and you can meet code compliance, then don't get in the way.
One of the things just watching it is the council is getting brutalized by this, because, you make it and the people are leaning into it, like the business is leaning into it, making them look bad because, it's taken them 5 years to write a code violation.
That's the hard part about sitting in a council seat, right?
Yeah.
Is you put policies in place, and the job of the staff is to implement those policies. And if you don't like it, you either change the policies or you make sure everybody comes into compliance. And sometimes you got to say no. I mean, it's no different than raising, we were coming up as kids. We got told no all the time. It's not because they didn't love you or they didn't want you to, you just sometimes no is the answer.
There's no good way out on that one.
There's no good way for either side. You want to say kudos to the business for doing something that obviously the community thinks is needed. Hopefully Cape Coral, I mean, I guess if it were me, I would work with staff to say, is there a way that we can continue this concept? Maybe it's not at this property. Maybe it's as a property we own. If there's something you do to be compliant.
But the thing is with that whole property is it was a unique thing that business created 5 years. There's no way to get around. And to me, I was like, how does the health department not shut them down? Like, how do you know somebody's, and I don't mean to be a jerk about this, but how do you know somebody's not bringing bad food and putting it in the refrigerator before somebody else takes it? It just seems like it's an unhealthy thing, but it's been going on for 5 years, and apparently nobody's died of food poisoning or anything like that. So that's the thing that's totally weird.
Yeah,
it's a tough one. It's a tough one when people are trying to help.
No good deed goes unpunished.
And we have a mayor's show every other Monday night with the Cape Coral mayor, and that's one of the first things that I'm going to ask him about. It's like, how do you get around? You're just getting brutalized by people because they see it as, the government,
heavy hand of the government. Yeah,
the government shutting down what was a good thing that worked without a problem for 5 years, and then all of a sudden you're telling us it's no good. So, and I'm sure you guys deal with that a lot too. Every government does.
Yeah.
So,
I don't think it's a one-off for Cape Coral. I'm sure there's things that we've done or have been done that
Yeah, but for them, there's 4 people up for election over there too, so they're trying to.
That's a tough
navigate a minefield.
It's a tough one, especially when you're right. Running for office is not for the faint of heart.
Because people lie about you. Flat out lie about you.
Well, that or you get asked questions that they may not like the answer, but every advice when people have ever reached out to me, say, can you give me advice? I'm running for this, I'm running for that. It's be yourself, answer the questions how you really believe. And they're either going to love it or they're going to hate it, but at least they know that you're not going to flip flop or you're not going to, be here. Now, sometimes you do change your mind because you get more information, but at the time you're asked the question, if you answer it honestly and not what you think they want to hear, I think people respect that. Yeah.
2 things I've never run for office, but 2 things I learned about running for office by watching all you people is people that don't like you will lie about you no matter what, and you just have to take it because there's nothing you can really do about it in a political election. They'll tell lies about you no matter what, and you just have to figure out a way. And then you're spending so much time trying to defend yourself as opposed to trying to get your platform across.
Well, Kevin Anderson and I were talking about that on Friday. We were talking about campaigning, and I was telling him he told me a story, and I was telling him a story about the first time I was running. I knew there was one. I mean, I went and knocked on every door. I tried to talk to everybody. You loved me, you hated me, you didn't know me, so I wanted to make sure you got to know me. And I knew there was this one house. I won't tell you the street or who it was, but I knew this person did not like me. And they answered the door, and before they could say one word to me, it was, I can't stand you. And I said, now at that point, I was not going to leave. I knew I was probably never going to get that person's vote, but I wanted them to at least know who I was before I leave, so they wouldn't do what you're saying. And so I probably spent 20 minutes talking to this person, and it went from thinking I was the worst person on the planet and just asking me questions and having conversation. After about 20 minutes, they said, well, I'm still not going to vote for you, but I don't think you're as big a jerk as I thought you were when you knocked on my door.
Wow.
And that's all I was trying to do. And then when I was out holding signs up at the old Chapel by the Sea, this person was standing right next to me the entire time. And they said, I just want to appreciate what you did. I'm still not going to vote for you, but I appreciate what you did and spent the time.
I can't believe anybody would think that you're a jerk. I mean, well,
it's people that have never met you. They only, to your point, they only know what people that are in their circle tell you. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, and the other point I wanted to make was the people that, like, let's say you're in office and somebody wants to run against you, they'll say things just to get elected, and they will have no idea how government runs. They'll have no idea what's going on behind the scenes, how much time you put in, how much effort it is, and all they're saying is they're going to do this, because they have people chirping in their ear about how government sucks and blah blah blah, and then if they do get in there, they realize how the sausage is really made.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Anybody that runs for election, that's when I got involved. You sit on the outside and why did they make the decision, or why didn't they make that decision? Or it doesn't seem that, like, if you've ever ran a business, you're like, do this, this, and this, and it fixes the problem. And then when you get in there, you realize, although you wish you could do this, this, and this, there's 3 or 4 other people that have to sign off on this, this, and this. And you don't see all that when you're just responding to Facebook posts or you're responding to what your friends tell you, until you get in there and the person that is in charge of whatever the issue is that you bring to their attention, they're like, we'd love to, but this is what we have to do. Yeah. And you're like, well, I never knew that. And so there are a lot of things that you don't know. Not an excuse, it's just the reality. But there are things where you could say, that's fine. If that's the way it is now, then we're going to put something in place to change it so it doesn't happen in the future.
Yeah, and most people aren't paying attention to politics. Like, until it's time to vote, then they're trying to.
Well, it's usually something that if I don't think anybody, the greater majority of people, I don't think, are born to say, I'm going to run for public office
or care to watch meetings and things like that.
Yeah.
Unless there's something going on in their neighborhood that they feel like they need to be involved with. They're not paying attention.
Energizes them, right? And then once you get in, either you like it, you hate it, you feel like you continue to make change, or you don't. Yeah. And then you do what you do, and you either keep going or you get out of the way.
Yeah, it's like in our development in Gateway, I don't pay attention to what we have our own Gateway Services District Board. I don't pay attention to it until they were going to put a dog park in our neighborhood. Then I went to a meeting. I mean, it's so
that's when you got engaged, right? You got engaged. Say, I'm gonna whatever you're pro or against, you're gonna get out there and talk about it.
So anyway, enough about that. Anything else you want everybody to know before we let you live your mayor's life?
Yeah. Just an update. We made it an executive decision yesterday or the day before. I'm just talking about our executive decision the day or the day before. It's so far out, but I just want to give people kind of the heads up. Our Pedals and Presents event that we do every single year, we've been doing for a long time, that we, the bike parade and all that. We're going to change it up a little bit this year. We're going to change the name. The presents are great, but with all the other, Community Foundation does a great fund driver around the same time. So it's kind of a redundant thing. So we're going to change the name up a little bit. We kind of settled on the Merry Misfits Parade, because we always say we're the Island of Misfits. So we've got a logo we're working on. We're going to put some shirts together. We're going to partner with Tuna Skin and put some shirts together and try to get them out as soon as we can to start selling them to hopefully cover the cost and maybe take the burden off of asking for donations from local businesses and those that have been nice enough to donate. And any money left over, we'll disperse into the community, through the 501c3s evenly, so that it's not one person gets all. At least that's our initial plan. So be on the lookout. I'll continue to update you on it as we finalize the logo, and there'll be shirts that'll be, they'll be year specific every year going forward, so that hopefully we can spend the year trying to. That's gonna be a plan this year. We'll fill you in on that when we got them locked in. But every year it gets bigger. We're excited about it. Everybody seems to have fun. So that's coming up. That's a little heads up.
It looks like our internet froze up for the first time in forever. So it must be time for us to get the hook. But the only thing is, I did get a text from Dawn, and they are now at $90,000 for the fireworks for the 4th of July. So that's 70% funded right now. So if you want to, donate to
someone just asked me about that, so I'm glad she gave the information.
So if you want to donate to the 4th of July, it's not going to be taxpayer funded this year. It's going to be What's Up FNB, and they're taking donations. Every little bit helps for the 4th of July fireworks. It's a big event down here.
Yeah, it's coming up faster than you know it. Before you know it, it'll be here. So,
all right, big hand for Dan Allers, everybody, your mayor. All right, before we go, please don't hang up the phone. I want to tell you about the Island's Pancake House, one of our sponsors to make this show possible with the mayor every Sunday. They serve breakfast and lunch 7 days a week, 7:30 until 2 o'clock. I'm guessing you guys can hear, but for some reason we're frozen up. Dan looking out into the sky, and I'm looking out into the sky. So somehow the picture is frozen, but the sound is solid, Jamie. 5 Food Truck Park, Jamie. They are locally owned and operated in the Seagrape Plaza, right behind the big pizza bus, if you didn't know that. They serve made-to-order breakfast and lunch. Give them a call right now, 320-360-3826. 320-360-3826. The Island Pancake House. Thank you very much. And our last sponsor of the day, Oscar on the Gulf. That's OSOZKR on the Gulf, where coastal real estate meets real expertise. From securing prime waterfront land to building resilient, equity-driven homes and listing at max value, Oscar delivers results from start to finish. Oscar on the Gulf with Premier Plus Realty and Homes by Power Block Builders, 239-406-7711, 239-406-7711, or go to OscarOnTheGulf.com, OZKROnTheGulf.com. 2 o'clock today at Bayside Park will be the shrimp eating contest, the finale of Shrimp Festival weekend. Thank you all for coming. Bye-bye.